Most people stumble through their mornings in a haze of unconscious habits, allowing their thoughts to drift wherever circumstance and past conditioning may lead them. They arise as victims of yesterday's limitations, carrying forward the same tired beliefs that have kept them bound to mediocrity. But you, my dear friend, you have been awakened to a greater truth. You now understand that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, but rather the very creator of them through the magnificent power dwelling within your own consciousness. The first thing you must tell yourself each morning is this fundamental truth. I am the creator of my reality. Not I will become or I hope to be, but I am. This is not merely positive thinking or wishful hoping. This is the recognition of the divine creative power that operates through your very being every moment of every day. When you declare, I am the creator of my reality, you are acknowledging the God power within you, the same creative force that spoke the universe into existence. You must understand that your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming and fantasy. Your imagination is the very workshop of creation itself. Every single thing you see in your physical world, every building, every invention, every work of art, every human achievement, first existed as an imaginal act in someone's consciousness. The chair you sit upon, the clothes you wear, the home you live in, all were once merely imagined possibilities that someone dared to assume as real. When you truly grasp this principle, you realize that your morning thoughts are not casual mental wanderings, but powerful creative acts that set the tone and direction for your entire day. Every thought you think, every assumption you make about yourself and your world, is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness that will inevitably bear fruit in your experience. This brings us to the second vital truth you must affirm each morning. I assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled. This is perhaps the most revolutionary concept in all of human understanding, that you need not wait for circumstances to change before you can feel the joy, peace, abundance, or love you desire. You can assume the feeling of already being what you want to be, already having what you want to have, right now in this very moment. Most people have this backwards. They believe they will feel successful when they achieve success, feel wealthy when they accumulate wealth, feel loved when someone loves them. But the awakened individual understands that feeling comes first, and the external manifestation follows as surely as night follows day. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled each morning, you are not pretending or engaging in self-deception. You are aligning yourself with the natural law of creation that governs all manifestation. Think of it this way. If you truly possessed everything you desire, if you truly were everything you wish to be, what would be the feeling tone of your consciousness? What would be the natural state of your being if all your dreams were already realized? This is the feeling you must assume, not as something to be attained in the future, but as your present reality right now. When you assume this feeling consistently, your entire world begins to reorganize itself to match your inner conviction. People, circumstances, and opportunities will be mysteriously drawn to you. Doors that seem permanently closed will swing open. Solutions to problems will appear as if from nowhere. This is not magic or superstition. This is the natural operation of consciousness creating through the law of assumption. The third powerful declaration you must make each morning is this: my past does not determine my future. Oh, how liberating this truth is when you truly embrace it. So many people remain trapped in cycles of limitation because they believe their past experiences must continue to repeat in their future. They look at their current circumstances, their history of failures or disappointments, and conclude that this is simply how life is for them. But you must understand that your past exists nowhere except in your memory, and your future exists nowhere except in your imagination. The only moment of power you have is this eternal now, this present moment of consciousness, in which you can choose what to assume about yourself and your life. Your past has no power over you except the power you give it through your current thoughts and assumptions. Every morning is a clean slate, a fresh beginning, a new opportunity to write a completely different story with your life. The person you were yesterday, with all their limitations and failures, need not be the person you are today. You can literally become a new person by assuming a new concept of yourself and feeling it to be true. This does not mean denying what has happened in your past, or engaging in wishful thinking. It means recognizing that your past was created by your former states of consciousness. And since you can change your consciousness, you can create an entirely new future regardless of what has gone before. The man who assumes he is healthy despite a history of illness, the woman who assumes she is prosperous despite a background of poverty, the person who assumes they are loved despite a past of rejection. These individuals are operating according to the highest spiritual law, and will see their assumptions manifest in their experience. Your past is not your prison. It is simply the evidence of your former states of consciousness. And since consciousness can be changed in an instant, your future can be completely different from your past, starting right now, this very morning, with the assumptions you choose to make about yourself and your life. The fourth essential truth to embrace each morning is, I am exactly where I need to be for my highest good. This statement might seem contradictory if you find yourself in circumstances that appear undesirable, but it contains a profound wisdom that will transform your relationship with your current reality. You see, every experience in your life, pleasant or unpleasant, is serving a divine purpose in your spiritual awakening and growth. The challenges you face are not punishments or evidence of your failure. They are opportunities for you to discover the creative power within yourself. Your current circumstances, no matter how limiting they may appear, are the perfect starting point for demonstrating the truth of these principles. When you accept where you are without resistance or self-condemnation, you free up enormous creative energy that was previously bound up in fighting against your reality. Resistance to what is creates more of what you don't want. Acceptance of what is, combined with the assumption of what you desire, creates the space for miraculous transformation. This does not mean becoming passive or resigned to unwanted conditions. It means recognizing that your current circumstances are the raw material from which you will create your new reality. Every successful person started exactly where they were, with whatever they had, and used the power of their imagination to transcend their limitations. When you tell yourself each morning that you are exactly where you need to be, you are acknowledging the perfect intelligence that governs your life's unfoldment. You are expressing faith in the divine order that is always working for your highest good, even when you cannot see the bigger picture. This attitude of acceptance and trust opens you to receive inspiration, guidance, and opportunities that you resisted. Complaining consciousness would have missed entirely. From this place of acceptance, you can then move into assumption, feeling yourself to be what you want to be, and trusting that your external world will conform to your inner conviction. This is the balanced approach, accepting what is while assuming what you desire, that allows for effortless transformation. The fifth and final truth you must declare each morning is perhaps the most important of all. I choose love over fear in every moment. Fear is the great enemy of all human achievement and happiness. Fear keeps you small, keeps you stuck, keeps you believing in limitation rather than possibility. Fear tells you that you are not worthy of your dreams, that change is dangerous, that you must protect yourself from an hostile world. But love is the creative power of the universe itself. Love is the force that draws your good to you, that opens hearts and minds, that dissolves obstacles and creates miracles. When you choose love over fear, you align yourself with the very essence of creation itself. You become a channel for divine power to flow through you and transform not only your own life, but the lives of everyone you touch. Choosing love over fear means approaching your day with confidence rather than anxiety, with gratitude rather than complaint, with expectation of good rather than anticipation of problems. It means seeing the divine in every person you encounter, the opportunity in every challenge you face, the blessing in every experience that comes your way. Fear would have you believe that you must struggle and strive and compete with others for the good things of life. But love reveals to you that the universe is abundant beyond measure, that there is more than enough good for everyone, that your success contributes to rather than detracts from the success of others. When you operate from love, you become magnetic to all the good things you desire. because you are vibrating in harmony with the creative principle itself. Each morning, as you make this choice for love over fear, you are literally choosing the consciousness through which you will experience your day. Will you see through the eyes of imitation or through the eyes of possibility? Will you react from old patterns of defensiveness and scarcity, or will you respond from the awakened awareness of your divine nature and infinite potential? Now, my friends, let me share with you how these 5 truths work together to create the foundation for a truly magnificent life. When you declare each morning that you are the creator of your reality, you are taking full responsibility for your experience. You are stepping out of victim consciousness and into creator consciousness. You are acknowledging that whatever you have experienced up to this point was created by your former states of awareness, and whatever you will experience from this point forward will be created by your current and future states of consciousness. This recognition naturally leads you to the second truth, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Since you are the creator, you have the power to feel however you choose to feel regardless of current circumstances. You can feel prosperous in the midst of apparent lack, feel healthy in the presence of symptoms, feel loved even when alone, because you understand that your feelings create your reality rather than the other way around. The third truth, that your past does not determine your future, frees you from the bondage of history and conditioning. You realize that every moment is a fresh opportunity to choose a new assumption about yourself and your life. You are not condemned to repeat the patterns of yesterday, because you have the power to create something entirely new starting right now. The fourth truth, that you are exactly where you need to be, brings peace to your present moment and allows you to move forward without the resistance that would slow down your progress. From a place of acceptance, you can assume your new state more easily because you are not wasting energy fighting against what is. And the fifth truth, choosing love over fear, ensures that you approach your creative work from the highest and most powerful consciousness available to human beings. Love is the atmosphere in which miracles flourish, in which the impossible becomes possible, in which dreams take form in the world of experience. These 5 declarations are not mere words to be repeated mechanically each morning. They are living truths to be felt, experienced, and embodied. They are states of consciousness to be entered into and lived. When you truly embrace these truths, your entire life becomes a demonstration of the creative power of consciousness. Let me tell you about the practical transformation that occurs when you begin each day with these 5 affirmations of truth. Your morning routine becomes a sacred ritual of creation rather than a mechanical preparation for another day of limitation. Instead of checking your phone immediately upon waking and filling your consciousness with the opinions and dramas of others, you take a few precious moments to align yourself with the infinite creative power within you. As you declare yourself to be the creator of your reality, you feel a shift in your entire being. No longer are you at the mercy of circumstances, waiting to see what life will bring you. Instead, you are consciously choosing what to create, what to experience, what to manifest through the power of your assumptions and feelings. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your whole nervous system begins to vibrate at the frequency of your desired reality. Your body, your energy, your very presence begins to broadcast the signal of what you have assumed to be true about yourself. This shift in your vibration immediately begins to attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that match your new assumption. As you release the grip of your past and open to a new future, you feel the exhilarating freedom of infinite possibility. The weight of old failures, disappointments, and limitations begins to lift from your shoulders. You realize that you are not condemned to repeat history, but are free to write a completely new story with your life. Accepting where you are while assuming where you are going creates a beautiful paradox of being at peace with what is while being excited about what is becoming. This balanced state of consciousness is tremendously powerful because it contains no internal conflict, no resistance to slow down the manifestation of your desires. And when you choose love over fear, you literally become a different person, someone who attracts love rather than conflict, opportunity rather than obstacles, abundance rather than lack. People sense this change in you even if they cannot explain it. You become magnetic to your good because you are operating from the highest creative principle in the universe. But the true magic happens, not just in your morning declarations, but in how these truths transform your entire approach to living. Throughout your day, when challenges arise, you remember that you are the creator and ask yourself what assumption you want to make about this situation. Instead of reacting from old patterns of fear or victimhood, you consciously choose to assume something wonderful is happening, even if you cannot yet see how. When opportunities present themselves, you are ready to receive them because you have been assuming the feeling of already having what you desire. Your consciousness is prepared for good things to happen because you have been living in the state of expectation and gratitude rather than doubt and worry. When people treat you in ways that formerly would have upset you, you remember that everyone is yourself pushed out, that all your experiences with others are reflections of your own states of consciousness. Instead of trying to change them, you change your assumptions about them, and miraculously they begin to show up differently in your experience. This is the great secret that mystics and sages have taught throughout the ages, that consciousness is the only reality and all else is its manifestation. What appears to be a physical world operating according to mechanical laws is actually a world of mind, a world of consciousness, a world where thoughts and assumptions become things and experiences. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that every morning you wake up in a world of infinite malleability, infinite possibility, infinite potential for transformation. The same consciousness that created the world you went to sleep in can create an entirely different world for you to wake up in, depending upon the assumptions you make and the feelings you cultivate. This is why your morning consciousness is so crucial. The assumptions you make as you transition from sleep to waking, the feelings you choose to embody as you begin your day, the declarations you make about yourself and your life, these are not idle thoughts, but powerful creative acts that set the template for your entire day's experience. Many people wonder why their lives seem to follow the same repetitive patterns day after day, year after year. The answer is that they wake up each morning and unconsciously assume the same things about themselves and their world that they assumed the day before and the day before that. They feel the same feelings, think the same thoughts, make the same assumptions, and therefore create the same experiences. But when you consciously choose to begin each day with these fundamental truths, you are breaking the cycle of unconscious creation and stepping into deliberate manifestation. You are taking control of the creative process and using it to shape your life according to your highest vision rather than your lowest fears. The first truth, I am the creator of my reality, establishes your divine authority over your experience. You are not a victim of genetic circumstances, other people's opinions, economic conditions, or any other external factors. You are the conscious creator of your world through the assumptions you make and maintain about yourself and your life. The second truth, I assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled, gives you the practical method for creation. Instead of trying to create through action alone, you create through consciousness first. You feel your way into your desired reality, and then the actions, opportunities, and circumstances arrange themselves to match your inner conviction. The third truth, my past does not determine my future, liberates you from the tyranny of history. You are not bound by what has been, but are free to create what can be through the power of your present consciousness. Every moment is a new beginning when you understand this principle. The fourth truth, I am exactly where I need to be, brings you into harmony with the perfect intelligence that governs your life's unfoldment. From this place of trust and acceptance, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that everything is working together for your highest good. The fifth truth, I choose love over fear, aligns you with the creative power of the universe itself. Love is the attracting power that draws your good to you, the dissolving power that melts away obstacles, the transforming power that turns water into wine in your experience. These 5 truths, when genuinely embraced and lived from each morning, create what we might call a consciousness of inevitability around your desires. You no longer hope your dreams might come true. You know they must come true because you understand the law by which all things are created. You are no longer trying to make things happen through struggle and effort. You are allowing things to happen through assumption and feeling. This shift from trying to make something happen to knowing it must happen is one of the most profound transformations a human being can experience. It moves you out of the anxiety and strain of attempting to control external circumstances and into the peace and power of controlling your internal state of consciousness. When you control your consciousness, you control your world. When you master your assumptions, you master your experiences. When you govern your feelings, you govern your reality. This is not mystical mumbo-jumbo, but the practical application of the deepest spiritual principles known to humanity. Every great achievement in human history has come through someone who understood, consciously or unconsciously, that they must first become in consciousness what they wish to be in manifestation. Every inventor, every artist, every leader, every person who has ever made significant contribution to civilization first imagined themselves to be what they eventually gain. The difference is that most people stumble upon this principle accidentally and apply it inconsistently. But you, my friend, you now have the conscious knowledge of how this law operates and can apply it deliberately and systematically to create whatever kind of life you truly desire. Your morning declarations are not just positive thinking or self-help techniques. They are the practical application of the creative law of consciousness. They are your daily appointment with the infinite creative power that dwells within you, your opportunity to consciously direct that power toward the manifestation of the highest vision for your life. As you make these declarations each morning with genuine feeling and conviction, you will begin to notice subtle but significant changes in your experience. Opportunities will present themselves more frequently. People will respond to you more positively. Solutions to problems will appear more readily. Coincidences and synchronicities will increase in your life. These are not accidents or random good luck. They are the natural results of aligning your consciousness with the creative principle of the universe. When you assume you are the creator rather than the victim, when you feel your wishes to be already fulfilled rather than desperately needed, when you release the limitations of your past rather than carrying them forward, when you accept your present while assuming your ideal, when you choose love rather than fear, you become a magnet for miracles. The person who understands these principles and applies them consistently becomes what we might call a deliberate creator rather than an unconscious victim of circumstances. They wake up each morning not wondering what life will bring them, but consciously choosing what they will create through the power of their assumptions and feelings. This is the great gift that has been given to humanity, the ability to consciously participate in the creative process of the universe through magnificent power of imagination. You need not wait for circumstances to improve, for other people to change, for conditions to become favorable. You can begin right now, this very morning, to create the life you truly desire by embracing these 5 fundamental truths and living from them consistently. Remember, my friends, that every morning is a new beginning. Every day is a fresh opportunity. Every moment is a chance to choose again what you will assume about yourself and your world. You are not condemned to repeat the patterns of yesterday unless you choose to do so through unconscious assumption. You have the power to break free from any limitation, to transcend any circumstance, to create any reality you can imagine and feel to be true. The 5 things you tell yourself each morning: that you are the creator of your reality, that you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, that your past does not determine your future, that you are exactly where you need to be, and that you choose love over fear. These are not mere words, but keys to the kingdom of heaven that lies within your own consciousness. Use these keys each morning to unlock the door to infinite possibility. Step through that door into a world where dreams come true, where miracles are natural, where love abounds, where abundance flows, where health and happiness are your natural state. This world exists within your own consciousness, waiting for you to assume it to be true and feel it to be real. Your life is your masterpiece. Your consciousness is your paintbrush. And these 5 truths are your palette of colors with which to create whatever reality your heart desires. Begin each day with these declarations, feel them deeply, live from them consistently, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes into a reflection of the beauty, love, and abundance that has always existed within your own wonderful human imagination. For those who understand the law of assumption, you recognize that everything in your world, every circumstance, every person, every opportunity is arranged by your own wonderful human imagination. And your presence here now is evidence that you have already begun to awaken to your divine nature, to your God self. Let me tell you something marvelous. Your consciousness is God, not a part of God, not a tiny fragment of divine energy, but God in entirety expressing as you. I and my Father are one, but man has yet to discover this greatest of all truths. You wear the mask of a particular personality with specific limitations and problems, but behind that mask is the limitless I am. The I am that speaks through your thoughts and feelings is the same I am that brought forth all of creation. When you say I am, you are announcing the presence of God, for that is his name forever and ever. And whatever you attach to those powerful words becomes your reality. Now, many of you have studied various metaphysical teachings, you've read books, attended seminars, practiced techniques. Yet you still find yourself waiting for your desires to manifest, wondering if perhaps you're doing something wrong. Let me assure you, the only thing standing between you and your desire made manifest is your concept of time and your belief in process. In the realm of spirit, where all creation truly takes place, there is no time. There is only the eternal now. In that now, everything you could ever desire already exists. It is finished, complete. Your job is not to create your desire new, but rather to enter the state where your desire is fulfilled, to live from the end. When you imagine yourself in possession of your desire, feeling the naturalness of having it, enjoying it, experiencing it as real, you are literally entering that state in consciousness. And since consciousness is the only reality, what you have assumed in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. It has no choice, for that is law. As within, so without. Your outer world is nothing more than the objectification of your inner assumptions. Every person, every circumstance in your life is there because somewhere in consciousness you have assumed it to be so. This is not to place blame, but to awaken you to your incredible power. Imagine for a moment that you are in a dark room, and within this room are infinite rooms, each one containing a different state of being. One room contains wealth beyond measure. Another contains perfect health. Another contains a loving relationship. Every desire you could possibly imagine exists in its fulfilled state in one of these rooms. Now, you cannot see these different rooms because of the darkness, but you can feel your way around. How do you know when you've entered a particular room? By the feeling it evokes within you. If you've entered the room of wealth, you feel the distinctive feeling of being wealthy. If you've entered the room of health, you feel the unmistakable feeling of vitality coursing through your veins. Your emotional reactions, your feelings, are the currency of manifestation. When you can genuinely feel wealthy before the money appears in your bank account, when you can feel love before the specific person enters your life, when you can feel successful before the outer signs appear, then you have mastered the art of manifestation. But most of humanity lives in reverse. They wait to feel wealthy until they see money. They wait to feel loved until someone shows them love. They wait to feel successful until they achieve outer success. And because of this, they remain stuck, waiting for circumstances to change so they can finally feel what they desire to feel. I am telling you now, reverse the process. Feel first, and the outer manifestation must follow as a natural consequence. This is the meaning behind faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not a wishy-washy hope that things might improve someday. Faith is the actual substance, the actual feeling of your desire fulfilled now. Consider the story in Scripture where Jesus cursed the fig tree And the next day the disciples marveled that it had withered away. Jesus told them, "Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith." What was Jesus revealing here? The secret of manifestation. When you speak to your mountain, your problem, your challenge, your unfulfilled desire, you must speak with absolute conviction, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing with such certainty that doubt finds no place to root in your consciousness. This absolute knowing comes from having already experienced the end in imagination. When you have lived the experience so vividly in imagination that it feels more real than your present physical circumstances, then you have planted the seed that must grow into manifestation. Now let's address something that keeps many spiritual seekers trapped: the constant search for the perfect technique. You may have tried affirmations, visualization, scripting, acting as if, and countless other methods. And while these can be valuable tools, they are just that, tools. They are means to an end, and that end is the state of consciousness where your desire is already fulfilled. The techniques themselves have no power. The power lies in your consciousness, in your ability to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If a technique helps you capture that feeling more effectively, then by all means use it. But never mistake the technique for the real work, which is the assumption of the state. Every day, countless people repeat affirmations without feeling, visualize without conviction, and act as if while still believing they're pretending. This divided mind, this attempt to serve two masters, keeps their desires at bay. Choose this day whom you will serve, your present circumstances or your desired state. You cannot serve both. When you truly understand the law of assumption, you realize that what appears as reality is actually just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. It has no power to create your future unless you continue to give it power through your attention and belief. Your current circumstances, no matter how convincing they may seem, are nothing more than echoes of past thoughts. The outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. The only thing that is truly alive is your consciousness, your awareness. And within that consciousness, you have the power to assume any state whatsoever. As you persist in that assumption, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner conviction. Think of it like this: your consciousness is like a projector, and the screen is your three-dimensional reality. Whatever film you run through the projector will appear on the screen. If you don't like what you see on the screen, there's no use in trying to change the screen directly. You must change the film, the content of your consciousness. Let's go deeper now. Many of you have heard that thoughts create reality, and while there's truth in this statement, it's not quite accurate. It's not your thoughts that create reality, it's the state from which those thoughts flow. A state is a complete package of thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and assumptions that together form a cohesive experience of being. For instance, the state of being wealthy includes not just thoughts about money, but also how you feel about yourself, how you perceive opportunities, how you interact with others, how you make decisions. When you enter the state of wealth consciousness, all these aspects align naturally. You don't have to force positive thoughts about money. They arise spontaneously from the state. This is why simply trying to think positive thoughts while remaining in a state of lack is so difficult and ultimately ineffective. You're trying to produce thoughts that are inconsistent with your state. Instead, change the state, and the thoughts will follow automatically. How do you change your state? Through the controlled use of your imagination. Your imagination is the bridge between your current state and the desired state. When you enter imagination with clear intention, you temporarily leave behind your current state and experience the desired state directly. With persistent use of imagination, you gradually shift your primary state of consciousness until you naturally dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire. This is not pretending or fooling yourself. This is awakening to different aspects of the infinite being that you truly are. Remember, all states already exist. You're not creating the state of wealth or the state of health or the state of love. These states are eternal aspects of consciousness, available to anyone who can assume them. Your work is to select the state you prefer and occupy it through the power of assumption. Now, some of you may be wondering if it's this simple. Why haven't I manifested my desires yet? The answer is found in two places: persistence and immediacy. Most people do not persist in their assumption long enough for it to become their dominant state. They imagine their desire fulfilled today, but tomorrow they're back to worrying about their problems. They affirm their wealth in the morning, but spend the afternoon complaining about bills. This vacillation between states prevents any one state from fully expressing itself in reality. The solution is to persist, not with strain or effort, but with the calm knowing that what you have experienced in imagination is more real and more substantial than temporary physical circumstances. Physical reality is fluid, constantly changing to reflect your dominant state. If you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, physical reality has no choice but to conform. The second factor is immediacy. Many believe that after they imagine their desire fulfilled, there must be a waiting period, a gestation period before manifestation can occur. But this is a misunderstanding of the law. In consciousness, there is no time. The moment you truly enter the state of your wish fulfilled, the outer circumstances begin reorganizing themselves to match that inner reality. What appears as delay is actually the time it takes for you to fully enter and occupy the desired state. Once you are truly in the state, manifestation is instantaneous. What you're waiting for is not the universe to catch up with your desire, but for you to catch up with the version of yourself who already has what you want. This brings us to another crucial point: your identity. Who do you believe yourself to be? This self-concept acts as a thermostat, regulating what manifestations are allowed into your experience. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, then even if you temporarily manifest some wealth, your self-concept will eventually bring you back to financial struggle. To create lasting change, you must revise your self-concept. You must see yourself as the person who naturally experiences what you desire. Not someone who is trying to get something, but someone who already has it as a natural expression of who they are. This identity shift happens from within. It's not about changing your behavior to match some external ideal. It's about recognizing that you are already that which you desire to be, and then allowing your outer behavior to naturally align with this inner knowing. I want to address a common misconception now. Many spiritual teachers speak of letting go or detachment from your desires as a necessary step for manifestation. And while there's wisdom in this teaching, it's often misunderstood. True detachment is not about caring less about your desire. It's about detaching from the need for your desire to manifest in a particular way or time frame. It's about detaching from the anxiety and doubt that come from living in lack. When you have truly assumed the state of your wish fulfilled, you are naturally detached, because in your consciousness, you already have what you desire. There's nothing to be anxious about. Think of it this way: are you anxious about receiving your next breath? Of course not. You breathe without thought or concern because you know the air is there for you. This is the kind of naturalness you want to cultivate regarding your desires, not indifference, but absolute trust. Another misunderstanding revolves around action. Some interpret the law of assumption to mean that physical action is unnecessary. If it's all about consciousness, they reason, then I don't need to do anything. This misses the point entirely. Action will always be part of the manifestation process, but when you're operating from the correct state of consciousness, the actions you take will be inspired and effortless. They will feel like the natural next step rather than forced effort. You won't be acting to get your desire. You'll be acting from the state of already having it. Imagine a wealthy person. They take actions consistent with wealth. They invest, they make purchases, they create new ventures. These actions flow naturally from their state of wealth consciousness. They don't strain or struggle with these actions because they align with their self-concept. When you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking actions that align with that state. And these actions will be far more effective than actions taken from a state of lack, because they carry a different energy and intention. Now, I want to speak specifically about the timing of this message finding you. As I said at the beginning, it is no coincidence that you are hearing these words now. Your consciousness drawn this message to you because you are ready for the next step in your awakening. Many of you have been feeling a stirring lately, a sense that something significant is about to shift in your life. You've been experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to be guiding you towards something. This message is part of that guidance. The universe, which is really your own expanded consciousness, has arranged for you to receive this confirmation now, because you have been asking for clarity. You have been asking for a sign that you're on the right path, that your desires are valid and possible for you. Consider this your sign. Consider this your confirmation. The very fact that these words are resonating with something deep within you is evidence that you are ready to step more fully into your manifesting power. Now let me address something that may have been troubling some of you. You may have had experiences where you applied these principles, assumed your desire was fulfilled, and yet nothing seemed to happen. Or worse, the opposite of what you wanted appeared in your life. First, understand that this is not evidence that the law doesn't work. The law is operating perfectly at all times. What these experiences reveal is that there was something in your consciousness that you were unaware of, a contradictory belief, a fear, or an attachment to your current circumstances that was stronger than your assumption of the new state. This is actually good news, because it means that as you become more aware of these contradictions in consciousness, you can address them directly. You can revise them, release them, and create more internal congruence. One powerful way to identify these contradictions is to pay attention to your natural thoughts and feelings throughout the day. Not the thoughts you're trying to think, but the thoughts that arise spontaneously when you're not monitoring yourself. These reveal your actual state of consciousness. If you find thoughts of worry, lack, or doubt arising frequently, don't judge yourself. Simply recognize that these thoughts are showing you what needs to be revised in consciousness. Each one is an opportunity for transformation. Remember, revision is not just for past events, it's also for revising your concept of yourself. When you catch yourself thinking from a limited state, gently shift your awareness back to the truth of who you are, a divine being with infinite potential, temporarily expressing through a human form. Let's talk about resistance for a moment. When you begin to consciously create your reality, you will inevitably encounter resistance. This resistance might show up as doubt, fear, or conflicting desires. It might manifest as criticism from others or challenges in your circumstances. All of this is normal and part of the process. Resistance doesn't mean you're doing something wrong or that manifestation isn't working. It simply means you're moving against the momentum of your past thinking. Just as a vehicle needs more force to change direction when it's already moving, your consciousness requires persistent focus to shift from established patterns to new ones. The key is to recognize resistance without engaging with it. When doubt arises, don't fight it or feel guilty about it. Simply observe it, then gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Each time you choose your desired state over resistance, you strengthen your new assumption and weaken the old patterns. Now, let's discuss a concept that is often overlooked in discussions of manifestation, the Sabbath. In the biblical tradition, the Sabbath represents rest, not physical rest, but mental rest from striving. In terms of conscious creation, entering the Sabbath means reaching a point where you no longer feel the need to work on your manifestation, because in consciousness it is done. When you have fully assumed the state of your wish fulfilled to the point where it feels natural and normal, when you no longer feel anxious about when or how it will manifest, you have entered the Sabbath. This is the true meaning of let go and let God. You let go of the effort of assuming because you have successfully planted the seed in fertile soil. Now you simply allow it to grow. Many miss their manifestations because they never enter this Sabbath state. They constantly dig up the seed to see if it's growing, thereby disrupting the very process they're trying to complete. Trust is required here. Trust in the law, trust in your imagination, and ultimately, trust in yourself as the operant power. Another aspect of manifestation that deserves attention is gratitude. True gratitude isn't about saying thank you for something you hope to receive in the future. It's about feeling genuine appreciation for something you experience as already yours. When you assume the state of having your desire fulfilled, gratitude flows naturally. You're not grateful in order to get something, you're grateful because in consciousness, you already have it. This gratitude is not a technique, but a natural expression of your assumed state. For many of you, what I'm sharing may seem familiar. You've heard aspects of this teaching before, perhaps in different words or from different traditions. Yet something keeps bringing you back to these principles. Something keeps drawing you to this message of your creative power. That something is your own divine nature calling you to awaken more fully. Part of you already knows everything I'm sharing. My words are simply reminding you of what you've temporarily forgotten. The amnesia of human experience has covered these truths, but they remain within you, waiting to be remembered. As you listen to these words, feel for the resonance of truth within you. Not intellectual agreement, but a deeper knowing, a recognition. The part of you that recognizes truth doesn't need proof or validation. It simply knows. This recognition is your divine self communicating with you. It's telling you, yes, this is who we really are. This is what we're capable of. Listen to this inner knowing. Trust it. It will guide you more surely than any external authority ever could. Now, let's address a practical concern. What about other people? If your consciousness creates your reality, what about the free will of others? What about circumstances that seem to involve multiple people? Here's the liberating truth. Everyone in your reality is an aspect of your consciousness, not their actual soul or being, but your experience of them. The version of your friend, your boss that appears in your reality is shaped by your assumptions about them. This doesn't mean they don't have free will in their own reality. But in your experience, they will reflect back to you your assumptions about who they are and how they behave. Change your assumption about someone, and you will see a change in their behavior toward you. This is why forgiveness is so powerful. When you truly forgive someone, you are revising your concept of them. You are no longer binding them to past behaviors in your consciousness. This creates space for a new expression of that relationship in your experience. The same principle applies to groups, institutions, and even global situations. Your experience of these collective circumstances is shaped by your assumptions about them. Change your assumption, and your experience will change regardless of what others continue to experience. This is true freedom. You are not at the mercy of circumstances or other people. You are the author of your experience, the creator of your reality. Everything you perceive is a reflection of your own consciousness, giving you the opportunity to know yourself more deeply. Now, I want to address something that may be troubling some of you who are spiritually inclined. You may be wondering, isn't this focus on manifestation and getting what I want somewhat selfish? Shouldn't I be focusing on higher spiritual aims? This is a false dichotomy. Your desires, all of them come from God, because you are God individualized. The impulse to have, to do, to be more is the divine impulse of expansion expressing through you. It is not selfish to fulfill your desires. It is the purpose for which you are here. Moreover, as you fulfill your desires and experience greater abundance, love, health, and joy, you naturally have more to give others. You cannot give from an empty cup. By filling your own cup, through conscious creation, you ensure that you have plenty to share. The most spiritually advanced beings are not those who have renounced desires, but those who have fulfilled their desires and transcended, recognizing that the real joy was not in the thing desired, but in the expansion of consciousness that came through the process of manifestation. So do not apologize for your desires. Do not minimize them or think them unspiritual. Honor them as divine impulses, calling you toward greater expression of your true nature. As we move toward the conclusion of this message, I want to emphasize the importance of faith, not blind faith in some external power, but faith in the law that never fails and faith in yourself as the operant power. This faith is built through experience. Each time you successfully manifest something, no matter how small, your faith grows. This is why it can be helpful to start with smaller manifestations that don't carry heavy emotional charge or strong contradictory beliefs. As you prove the law to yourself through personal experience, your confidence grows. Eventually, you reach a point where doubt becomes impossible because you have seen the law work too many times to question it. This is mastery. But even before you reach that point of complete confidence, you can borrow my faith. I stand before you as evidence of what is possible when you fully embrace these principles. Everything I have shared with you comes from direct experience, not theory. I know these principles work because I've tested them thoroughly in my own life. The universe has arranged for our paths to cross at this precise moment because you are ready for this message. You are ready to step more fully into your creative power. You are ready to remember who you truly are and what you are capable of creating. This is your manifestation confirmation. The fact that these words found you, that they resonate with something deep within you, is confirmation that you are on the right path. Your desires are valid. Your power is real. Your manifestation is already complete in consciousness and is moving toward expression in your physical reality. All that remains is for you to choose. Will you continue to be defined by your past, limited by your circumstances, controlled by your fears? Or will you claim your divine birthright as a creator, as God individualized in human form? The choice is yours as it has always been. But know this, having heard these words, having felt their resonance with your own inner knowing, you can never fully return to unconscious creation. A seed has been planted in your awareness that will continue to grow. Your manifestation journey has reached a crucial turning point. From this moment forward, you will begin to see evidence of your creative power more clearly. Synchronicities will increase. Your manifestations will accelerate. Your confidence will grow. Trust this process. Trust yourself. All that you desire is already yours in consciousness. Allow it to express itself in your experience by maintaining the assumption that it is done. Remember, you are not working toward your desire. You are simply recognizing what is already complete. In the realm of spirit, where all creation takes place, your desire is fulfilled. Your work is to align your humanness with this spiritual fact. As you leave this message today, carry with you this one truth: you are the operant power in your life. Not circumstances, not other people, not luck or chance or fate. You, through your assumptions, create your reality. Use this power consciously. Use it lovingly. Use it with the knowledge that as you lift yourself, you lift all of humanity. For we are all connected, all expressions of the one divine consciousness exploring itself through infinite variations of human experience. The universe arranged for you to receive this message today as your manifestation confirmation. Now go forth and create deliberately with joy and confidence, knowing that all things are possible to the one who believes. Remember, imagination creates reality. What you assume, you become. The world is yourself pushed out. These are not just pretty metaphysical sayings. They are the fundamental laws of consciousness by which your entire reality operates. Test them. Prove them to yourself. And as you do, watch in wonder as your life transforms before your eyes, reflecting back to you the limitless being that you truly are. This is your divine inheritance. Claim it. Live from it. And share the fruits of it with a world that desperately needs the light of conscious creators. Now, in this moment, feel the truth of what I've shared. Feel it not as an intellectual concept, but as a living reality within you. Feel the power that has always been yours. Feel the freedom that comes from knowing you are the author of your experience. This feeling is your manifestation confirmation. Trust it. Live from it. And watch as the universe, which is really yourself in a grander form, responds by showing you evidence of your creative power everywhere you look. It is done.
My friends, there is a truth many people are afraid to confront. A reality so dark, so uncomfortable, that we would rather bury our heads in the sand than lift the veil that covers it. But we were not born to live in denial. We were not created to walk in ignorance. For the word says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." It does not say they perish because the enemy is strong, but because they are ignorant of the devices of the enemy. There is a growing epidemic in our homes, in our families, and in our relationships. Witchcraft, not from the outside, but witchcraft practiced in secret by those closest to us. The ones we love, the ones we trust, the ones we sleep beside, eat with, and call family. But not all family is faithful. Not all blood is loyal. And not all smiles are innocent. Just because someone is in your house does not mean they are with you. Just because someone shares your last name does not mean they carry your destiny. The most dangerous enemy is the one that sits closest to you, because the further the enemy, the easier it is to detect. But when the darkness wears the mask of affection, when the witchcraft is hidden behind hugs and kisses, when the spell is cast through kind words and fake prayers, you must open your spiritual eyes. You must discern what is behind the curtain. Because not all love is love. Some love is control. Some love is manipulation. Some love is laced with spiritual poison, designed to keep you in bondage. The enemy is cunning. He will not always send a stranger to attack you. Sometimes he will use your sibling. Sometimes he will use your spouse. Sometimes he will use your mother or father. Because if the devil can use a serpent in the garden, he can use a familiar voice in your home. And when that familiar voice begins to discourage you from prayer, when they mock your fasting, when they fight your calling, when they belittle your purpose, do not ignore the signs. Do not assume it's just attitude. You are fighting something spiritual, wearing the clothes of something relational. Do you not remember Samson? He was not destroyed by an army. He was not conquered by warriors. His downfall came through the lap of Delilah, a woman who acted in affection but operated in demonic assignment. She looked like a lover, but she was a plant of darkness. She soothed him with words while selling his secret. And there are many today whose spiritual strength is being sapped by the very ones they love, because they cannot see what's hiding in plain sight. Witchcraft is not always cauldrons and broomsticks. Witchcraft is control. Witchcraft is rebellion. Witchcraft is manipulation. It is when someone uses spiritual force, knowingly or unknowingly, to bend your will, hinder your progress, or destroy your purpose. And you must be bold enough to ask the hard question: is someone close to me using spiritual means to limit me? How do you know? You begin to feel drained after talking with them. You have dreams that disturb your peace after visiting them. Every time you try to rise, there is sudden resistance. Your joy fades in their presence. Your vision dies when you share it with them. They discourage your growth, mock your breakthroughs, and subtly keep you dependent on them. My friend, that is not love. That is bondage. So today, and behind it, witchcraft may be operating. When Cain killed Abel, it was not out of love, it was out of jealousy. Many who are using witchcraft against you are not doing it out of hate. They are doing it out of envy. You carry something they lost. You walk in a light they have not seen. Your favor exposes their failure, and instead of repenting, they retaliate. Instead of celebrating you, they sabotage you. And rather than seek God, they seek altars, candles, and rituals in secret, trying to reverse your blessing. There are some who pretend to pray for you, but are actually praying against you. You must discern the difference. You must look beyond the words and listen with your spirit. A witch can say, "God bless you," while cursing you under their breath. A warlock can shake your hand while planting spiritual thorns in your path. You must be wise. You must be vigilant. You must test every spirit. Not every spiritual person is of God. Not every prophet is from heaven. Some wear robes but serve darkness. Some quote scripture but operate in divination. It is time to expose hidden darkness. Stop covering what God is calling you to confront. Stop protecting what heaven is trying to deliver you from. If someone in your life is practicing witchcraft, whether they call it ancestral wisdom, harmless rituals, or just tradition, you must not entertain it. Do not eat from their table. Do not receive their gifts. Do not allow them to lay hands on you, because what you allow in your space can shape your spirit. You cannot walk in power and sleep in deception. You cannot speak in tongues but stay silent when demons are walking through your house. You must rise. You must put on the whole armor. You must declare, no witchcraft will prosper in my home, no sorcery will prosper in my bloodline, no demonic covenant will hijack my destiny. This is the hour of exposure. The light of God is shining in every corner, and anything that hides from the light is not of God. If a relationship must be hidden, if a conversation must be whispered, if a ritual must be done in the dark, it is not from the Father of lights. God does not hide in shadows. He does not work in secrecy. But witchcraft lives in hiddenness. It thrives in silence, and you have the authority to break it. Do not wait for confirmation from the flesh. Let your spirit speak. Let your dreams warn you. Let the peace of God lead you. If someone around you causes your fire for God to grow cold, check the root. If your children begin to change after visits from a certain relative, investigate it in prayer. If your finances collapse after receiving gifts or clothes from someone, do not dismiss it. Ask the Holy Spirit to reveal. Ask Him to expose. Ask Him to show you what is moving behind the scenes. You cannot fight what you refuse to see. You cannot conquer what you coddle. God has given you discernment not to judge but to protect. Protect your soul, protect your assignment, protect your future. Witchcraft cannot stand against a believer who knows their identity. The blood of Jesus is stronger than any curse. The name of Jesus is higher than any altar. The fire of the Holy Spirit will consume every demonic sacrifice made against you. So stand bold, stand strong. You were not created to live under spells. You were born to break them. You were not called to be a victim. You were chosen to be a victor. And no power of darkness, no manipulation of man, no scheme of a familiar spirit will be able to stop what God has started in you, unless you allow it. You are the gatekeeper of your life. You are the watchman on your wall. It's time to take your place. It's time to open your eyes, because love should lift you, not bind you. Family should protect you, not curse you. And any darkness hiding behind a familiar face must bow to the light of Christ. When God begins to elevate you, don't be surprised when those closest to you start acting strange. It's not always coincidence. Some will feel threatened by your anointing. Some will feel intimidated by your growth. Some will become uncomfortable as you step into your calling. You must understand witchcraft is not just a tool of darkness. It is a reaction to divine movement. When heaven starts moving in your life, hell looks for someone close to you to interrupt it. That is why betrayal always comes from the inside. Judas walked with Jesus. He ate with him. He laughed with him. He even dipped his hand in the same bowl. But while his hands were clean, his heart was already sold. He had already made covenant with darkness, even as he kissed the light. That is what many are facing today. Betrayal in the form of love, deception disguised as concern. The person who says, I just want what's best for you, is sometimes the one praying you never get it. It's subtle, it's silent, and that is why it's so dangerous. Witchcraft doesn't always come with fire and thunder. It often comes with whispers, with glances, with silence. The silence when you succeed, the cold stare when you testify, the passive-aggressive words when you share your vision. They won't say it openly, but the spirit behind them is resisting you. They speak well, but they carry poison. They support you in front of others, but behind closed doors they raise altars against your name. There are mothers who dedicate their children to demonic spirits and still sing hymns in church. There are fathers who tie down their children's destiny out of fear that they will rise higher than them. There are uncles, aunts, cousins, even spouses who have made inner vows, you will never leave me, you will never surpass me, you will never be free from me, and those words become chains in the spirit realm. They visit shrines, they pour libations, they plant objects, they place garments, they speak into mirrors, they manipulate dreams. You dream of snakes, you dream of being chased, you dream of eating, you dream of sexual encounters, you dream of burial grounds, You see strange shadows at night. You feel weight on your chest. You wake up tired, afraid, confused. You try to pray, but your mouth feels heavy. You try to fast, but you fall into temptation. My friend, something is wrong. And many times the root of that affliction is not in the forest, it is in your family. The enemy has hidden his operations in the realm of the familiar. Familiar spirits are spirits that study family lines. They trace bloodlines, they wait for legal access, and when someone in your family opens a door through occult practices, whether knowingly or unknowingly, it affects everyone in that line. That is why it's possible to suffer consequences from covenants you didn't make. Someone else signed the contract, but you are living under its condition. Do not assume that because someone calls you son, daughter, brother, or friend, they are incapable of spiritual treachery. Lucifer was anointed, yet he betrayed heaven. Saul was chosen, yet he envied David to the point of murder. Not all who start well finish well, and some who once walked in the light have crossed over into darkness, yet still pretend to be carriers of light. It is a deception that only spiritual discernment can detect. You must learn to pray the kind of prayers that expose what is hidden. Stop praying just for blessings. Start praying for exposure. Say, Lord, show me what I need to see. Show me who is for me. Show me who is against me. Reveal every hidden enemy. Tear off every mask. Expose every altar raised against my name. Because until it is exposed, it cannot be expelled. And what you tolerate will dominate. Some of you have wondered why every time you're about to break through, something strange happens. You get sick, you get confused, your helpers disappear, opportunities collapse. It is not natural, it is spiritual. Someone is monitoring your progress. Someone is speaking into the airwaves. Someone is calling your name in the night. They smile during the day but travel by night. They are in your circle, but they are not in covenant with your destiny. I'm not telling you this so you can be afraid. I'm telling you this so you can take your rightful place in the Spirit. For too long you have been passive. For too long you have allowed ungodly altars to speak louder than your prayers. For too long you've been intimidated by what runs in your family. But God did not send you here to continue the curse. He sent you to break it. It ends with you. The witchcraft ends with you. The jealousy ends with you. The sabotage ends with you. The altars of poverty, barrenness, confusion, and stagnation, they end with you. You are the bloodline breaker. You are the one who carries the oil to destroy the yoke. But you must rise, you must pray, you must fast. You must sever every tie that connects you to demonic access. Some of you need to clean your homes. Some of you are hosting demonic activity unknowingly. You have clothes, gifts, books, artifacts, and jewelry given to you by individuals who are not clean. And those items carry a spiritual presence. If the enemy can't attack you directly, he will enter through objects. That is why God told his people, do not take the accursed thing into your camp, because once it's in, it gives access. Some of your dreams began to shift after that birthday gift. Some of your warfare started after that hand-me-down. Ask the Holy Spirit what needs to be removed, what needs to be burned, what needs to be broken. It's time to do a spiritual audit of your relationships. Who feeds your spirit? Who drains your energy? Who prays for you when no one is watching? Who competes with your growth silently? These are the questions you must ask, because when witchcraft is involved, the person practicing it will not admit it. They will say they love you while fighting you spiritually. They will hug you while sacrificing your name, but God will reveal. Some of you have been under spiritual siege because of covenants you made in ignorance, words you spoke in pain, friendships you formed without discernment. You need to break them, renounce them, reject them, because your destiny is too valuable to be manipulated by darkness. Your calling is too great to be caged by a jealous spirit. You were not born to live under spells. You were born to command deliverance. Speak over your life. Say, every tongue that has risen against me in secret, I condemn. Every altar raised by familiar hands, I bring it down. Every charm buried against my destiny, I uproot it. Every spiritual arrow sent from within my circle, I send it back to sender. No witchcraft formed against me shall prosper. If you don't speak, the stones will cry out. If you don't rise, the next generation will fight what you refuse to face. You must be the one who says enough. Enough of spiritual manipulation. Enough of generational bondage. Enough of smiling devils. Enough of deceptive hugs. Enough of hidden sacrifices made against your progress. Yes, God is love, but He is also a man of war. Yes, we forgive, but we also bind. Yes, we walk in grace, but we also walk in fire. You must war in the Spirit. You must take authority. You must release fire on every spiritual parasite feeding on your destiny. The same God who raised Lazarus from the dead can resurrect every area of your life that witchcraft tried to bury. But you must confront it. Witchcraft is real. It is not just folklore. It is not just fantasy. It is active. And the most dangerous kind is not from the marketplace or the forest. It is from within your home. Because those are the ones you trust. Those are the ones who have your hair, your pictures, your name, your clothing. And through those items they work incantations, they consult spirits, they make declarations in the night. But hear me clearly. What was done in the dark shall be shadowed by the light. Every curse can be reversed, every spell can be broken, every altar can be torn down, every demon can be cast out. But only if you engage, only if you discern, only if you rise. No one can fight this for you. You must open your mouth, you must lift your voice, you must take your place, because what is fighting you is not natural, it is spiritual. And spiritual problems require spiritual weapons. This is not a season to be quiet. This is not a season to be polite. This is not a season to play church. This is a season to confront the serpent, to expose the mole, to destroy the trap, and to silence every demonic voice speaking in your family. The question is not, is someone practicing witchcraft against me? The question is, am I equipped to overcome it? And the answer is yes, you are. You are covered by the blood. You are filled with the Spirit. You are armed with the Word. You are surrounded by angels. You are chosen, anointed, empowered, and appointed for such a time as this. You must come to a place in your walk with God where discernment becomes more valuable to you than emotion, because emotions can deceive you, but discernment will protect you. There are people who make you feel loved but are spiritually sent to destroy you. And if you live your life guided by feelings instead of the Holy Spirit, you will embrace what you should resist and you will welcome what you should reject. The heart can be blind, but the Spirit sees. And when your spirit begins to feel uneasy around someone, even if your mind cannot explain it, do not ignore it. That uneasiness is often God's whisper saying, be careful. That dream you had where someone close to you appeared as an animal, a snake, a bird, don't dismiss it. It is not always just a dream. Dreams are a spiritual language, and God uses them to reveal the hidden plans of the enemy. But many are under spiritual oppression because they keep ignoring God's warnings. You keep brushing off your dreams, your spiritual alerts, the prophetic words. You keep making excuses for people who are harming you in the spirit. You say, well, they didn't mean it like that. You say, but we've been friends for so long. You say, that's just how they are. And all the while they are tying your destiny to demonic altars while you defend them with your loyalty. Loyalty without discernment is dangerous. You can be loyal to the wrong person and end up bound. You can be faithful to a witch and end up cursed. You can honor someone whose hands are dirty, and their contamination will reach your life. God is calling you to spiritual maturity. You must stop looking only at the outer appearance. You must stop judging people based on history. It is not about who they used to be. It is about who they have aligned themselves with, now in the Spirit. Some people changed alliances a long time ago, but you're still relating to them as if they walk in the light. You didn't know that when they traveled that one time they made a covenant. You didn't know that when they went silent for 3 days, they were making a sacrifice. You didn't know that when they gave you that gift, it was not just a gift. It was a spiritual transfer. But now your life is different. Now your peace is gone. Now your fire is low. And you're still trying to fix it in the natural when the issue is deeply spiritual. I declare over you right now, let the fire of the Holy Ghost expose every hidden hand working against you. Let every secret altar be revealed. Let every assignment carried out in the night be interrupted by the armies of the living God. Let every soul tie that connects you to witchcraft be broken. Let every object in your home that was planted by a deceiver lose its power and be burned by spiritual fire. There are some relationships you must walk away from, not because you hate them, but because your destiny is too expensive. If a person keeps drawing you away from prayer, away from fasting, away from purpose, away from peace, then you need to ask yourself who sent them. Are they on divine assignment or demonic ones? Because every person in your life is either planting or plucking. They are either watering your garden or poisoning your roots. Witchcraft thrives on access. The moment you cut off access, its power begins to fade. As long as the person can touch your space, your body, your mind, or your emotions, they can influence your atmosphere. That's why boundaries are spiritual. That's why silence is sometimes warfare. That's why distance can be divine. Because when you create spiritual boundaries, you begin to reclaim what was stolen from you by stealth. You cannot kill what you continue to feed. You cannot rebuke what you continue to entertain. If the witch is in your bed, get up. If the warlock is your closest friend, it's time to walk away. If the diviner is hiding behind your mother's smile, you must pray until every demonic veil is torn. This is the season to offend every demonic alliance with your obedience to God. This is the season to walk in the kind of boldness that makes the enemy regret ever touching you. You must open your mouths and declare the word of God, because silence is agreement in the realm of the Spirit, and too many believers are quiet when they should be commanded. Declare of your life. Every incantation spoken against me is reversed. Every monitoring spirit is blinded. Every mirror used to watch my life is shattered. Every garment placed on me in the Spirit is removed and replaced with the garment of righteousness. I reject every counterfeit relationship, every toxic tie, every manipulative voice. I am hidden in Christ. I am covered by the blood. I am surrounded by fire. You don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live under bondage. You don't have to live with nightmares. But you do have to be vigilant, because the enemy is still seeking whom he may devour. And he often uses the most familiar face, the softest voice, the oldest friend. But when you walk with the Holy Spirit, no enemy can hide for long. No betrayer can remain undiscovered. No darkness can stay cloaked. Because the fire of God burns through every veil, the Spirit of God sees every corner, and the voice of God will lead you out of every trap. So rise, child of God. Rise with eyes wide open. Rise with prayers that shake altars. Rise with discernment that cuts through deception. Rise with the boldness that declares, I will not be bound. I will not be tricked. I will not be silenced. I will not be delayed. The witchcraft that tried to keep you stuck has lost its grip. The loved one that tried to sabotage you with rituals is being exposed. The hands that secretly warred against you are being rendered powerless. You are more than a conqueror. You are a carrier of glory. You are the temple of the Holy Spirit. And every power, every person, and every practice that opposes the work of God in your life must bow. They must scatter. They must fall. Because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And the world will see not only that God has delivered you, but that God has marked you. that God has preserved you, that the attacks from within could not stop what was placed in you, that every form of witchcraft was defeated not by shouting, not by screaming, but by the still, unstoppable, ever-burning fire of God inside of you. Beloved, this is your hour to rise in authority, no longer blinded by sentiment, but awakened in the Spirit. What was hidden has been exposed, and now the choice is yours. Walk in freedom or remain in bondage. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, but you must stand, pray, and discern. Do not fear those who operate in darkness, for you carry the light of God. Break every chain, silence every voice of witchcraft, and step boldly into your destiny. Heaven backs you. The blood covers you, and your victory is already written. Now walk in it unshaken, unafraid, and unstoppable. You are not limited by what your senses tell you. You are not confined to the world that appears before you, for you are the creator of all that you see, feel, and experience. Within you lies an unshakable power, a power that allows you to shape your reality with the simple act of assuming the desired state. When you truly understand this, you will see that there are no barriers to your growth, no limitations to your potential, and no reason why you cannot achieve both the height you wish to attain and the wealth you deserve. Everything you experience in the physical world is a reflection of what you have assumed in your mind. Your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, they are the architects of your reality. If you wish to manifest a greater height, you must first assume that you are already the person you wish to be. See yourself standing tall, full of confidence and strength, as if you have already reached your desired height. Feel it in your body, as though the very cells of your being are expanding upwards. Allow that feeling to settle within you, and with it you will align yourself to the reality that reflects this assumption. Likewise, wealth does not come from striving, from struggling, or from endlessly pursuing what you think you must have. It comes from the recognition that you are already abundant, you are already worthy of the riches you desire. Assume the state of being wealthy and do not doubt it for a second. Visualize yourself living the life you want, surrounded by abundance, comfortable in luxury, and free to create as you desire. Let go of any thoughts of lack, for they only serve to keep you from the wealth that is already yours. Assume with absolute certainty that your wealth is here now, and watch as the world bends to reflect this assumption. As you assume the feeling of being tall and wealthy, do not let the external world sway you. Do not wait for evidence before you believe it is so. The world must conform to your inner state, for it is only a mirror of your thoughts and feelings. The key to transformation lies not in waiting for the outside to change, but in changing within. The moment you decide with unshakable belief that you are tall and wealthy, you are already on the path to your manifestation. You may wonder, how long will it take? How will it happen? These are questions born from doubt. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the world begins to rearrange itself to bring your desires into your experience. Time is not your enemy. It is simply the interval in which your assumptions take shape. Trust that all is unfolding perfectly, and that your assumption, once planted, will grow into the full manifestation of your desired reality. Your height, your wealth, your desires, they are all within you. You need not seek them outside of yourself. They are already yours, waiting for you to assume them. So stand tall in your assumption, live wealthy in your heart and mind, and trust that as you do, the world will reflect your inner state in ways far beyond your current understanding. The transformation you seek is inevitable, for you are the creator of your world, and what you assume to be true, you will soon see as fact. There is no power greater than the power within you, for it is from this inner strength that your entire world is formed. You are not at the mercy of circumstances or fate, nor are you bound by the limitations that others have imposed upon you. You are a creator, and your creations spring forth from the assumptions you hold deep within. The truth is, you are already everything you wish to be. You already possess everything you wish to have. It is only through the recognition of this truth and the steadfast assumption of your desires that you bring them into your reality. In the silence of your mind, you must claim what is already yours. To manifest your desired height, to step into the fullness of your being, you must first see yourself as tall. You must embody that which you seek to become. in every thought, in every moment. Envision yourself standing tall, strong, proud, and confident. The height you seek is not something that exists outside of you. It is something that is already present within your mind, within your belief, within your heart. The more you embody this belief, the more the outer world will conform to it. You are not waiting for the physical growth of your body to catch up. You are already the person you seek to be in spirit, and that spirit will shape your physical form. Your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions. These are the forces that shape your physical world. You must no longer rely on the evidence of your senses, for the senses tell you only what is already manifested. But you, as the creator, have the power to transcend what the senses present to you. You are not subject to what is, you are the master of what will be. As you assume the state of being tall, do not doubt it, and do not be swayed by the evidence that appears before you. Assume with every fiber of your being that you are tall. The moment you do this, you have taken the first step towards your manifestation. Your body will begin to align with your inner assumption, your posture will shift, your presence will grow, and the world will begin to reflect this new truth about you. You are no longer bound by the old image you had of yourself, for you have embraced a new image, a new assumption. This is the power of the law of assumption. It does not ask you to work harder, to struggle more, or to fight against the current of life. It asks you to assume that which you desire, to take on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to live as though what you desire is already here. When you live in the assumption of your desires, the universe must align with your inner vision. Your external world will shift to reflect what you have already assumed to be true within yourself. Even the key is in the assumption, in the unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours, already true, and already manifesting in your experience. When it comes to wealth, the same principle applies. The idea that you must toil endlessly, struggle for every penny, or wait for some external circumstance to change in order for you to become wealthy is an illusion. Wealth is not a distant goal, nor is it something that you need to chase after. Wealth is a state of being. It is an inner realization that abundance flows freely to you, and that you are worthy of all the riches the world has to offer. Wealth is not about the money in your bank account or the possessions you accumulate. It is about the consciousness of abundance. It is the recognition that you are already rich, that your desires are already met, and that the universe is constantly providing for you. The moment you assume the state of wealth, you begin to live from that assumption. You no longer worry about how you will acquire wealth, because you know it is already yours. You know that money flows effortlessly to you because you have assumed the state of being wealthy. The law of assumption does not ask you to wait for external circumstances to change. It asks you to change within, to assume the state of the wish fulfilled. When you assume that you are wealthy, you begin to think, feel, and act as a wealthy person would. You begin to see opportunities for wealth where you once saw obstacles. You begin to make decisions from the place of abundance, knowing that you are always supported, always provided for. The more you assume this state of wealth, the more your reality shifts to reflect it. Your outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. The more you assume that you are wealthy, the more the universe responds to that assumption, bringing you opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that align with your new belief. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and taking the right actions to manifest your wealth. But it all begins with the assumption that you are already. Do not be deceived by appearances. The world you see around you is not the true reality. It is a reflection of the assumptions you have made. If you have assumed that you are lacking, that wealth is out of your reach, or that your height is fixed, then that is what you will experience. But if you change your assumptions, if you begin to assume that you are tall and wealthy, the world will reflect that back to you. This is the magic of the law of assumption. It is not about effort, struggle, or hard work. It is about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. The more you live in this assumption, the more your world will change to match it. The more you feel the emotions of already having your desires, the more the universe will bring them to you. The path to manifesting your desired height and wealth is simple. Assume, without a doubt, that it is already yours. Assume that you are already the person you wish to become. Assume that the wealth you desire is already flowing into your life. Assume that your height is already exactly what you want it to be. Do not question it. Do not doubt it. And do not wait for evidence to show up before you believe it. Believe it now. And watch as the world bends to match your assumption. You must trust in the power of your mind, for it is your mind that shapes your reality. Your mind is the creative force behind all that you experience. The moment you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, you have set the wheels of creation into motion. The universe must respond to your assumption, for it is the law. Just as a seed planted in the soil will eventually grow into a plant, so too will your assumptions grow into reality. They'll bring forth a shift into energy. But you must be patient. The world may take time to reflect your assumptions, but this is only because the physical world operates according to a different time frame. The seed of your assumption has already been planted, and in time it will bloom into the manifestation of your desires. Trust in the process, and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly according to the law. Your height, your wealth, your desires, they are all already within you. They are not distant goals to be chased after, but rather states of being to be assumed. You are not waiting for the world to change, you are changing within. And as you change, so too will the world around you. Do not be deceived by the appearance of things. Your current circumstances are only a reflection of past assumptions. The moment you begin to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, your world will begin to change. Your height will increase, your wealth will manifest, and all that you desire will come to you. You are the creator of your reality. You are the master of your own fate. And as you assume the state of the person you wish to become, the universe will conspire to bring your desires to fruition. Trust in the power of assumption, and trust in your ability to create the life you desire. Your height, your wealth, your dreams, they are all waiting for you to assume them into being. And when you do, the world will shift to reflect the truth of your inner state. Within the deep recesses of your mind lies the power to create the world you wish to experience. It is not outside of you. It is not something you must struggle for or chase after. It has always been within you, waiting for you to acknowledge it, to embrace it fully. You are not a passive observer in this world. You are the active creator of it. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, is shaping your reality in real time. God said to me, "You are not at the mercy of the world. You are the master of it." Once you understand this truth, once you grasp the full magnitude of your power, everything you have ever desired can be yours. There is a quiet power that comes when you begin to assume the state of the wish fulfilled. It is subtle yet profound, transforming not only the way you see the world, but also the way the world responds to you. The moment you begin to assume that you are tall, the very essence of your being will shift to align with that assumption. You will no longer see yourself as someone who lacks height, someone who is constrained by their physical limitations. You will embody the person you wish to be, and in doing so, your body will respond. The change may seem gradual at first, but over time, it will become undeniable. As you assume the state of the tall person, you will find yourself standing taller, carrying yourself with more confidence, and seeing the world from a higher vantage point. This is the way of creation, the way of manifestation. It is not about forcing things to happen, nor is it about waiting for some external force to give you permission. It is about assuming the truth of your desire, the feeling of it, and living from that assumption every single day. When you assume that you are already the person you wish to become, you are aligning yourself with a higher frequency, a frequency that must attract the conditions, circumstances, and opportunities necessary for your desires to materialize. In the same way, wealth is not something that you need to strive for or chase. Wealth is not an external goal that you must work tirelessly to attain. Wealth is a state of being, a consciousness that you must assume. To manifest wealth, you must first assume that you are already wealthy. This is not a mere wish or desire. It is a truth that you must live by. You must see yourself as wealthy in all aspects of your life, in your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, and your beliefs. Wealth is not just about money. It is about the abundance of life itself, the abundance of love, health, joy, and opportunity. When you assume the state of wealth, when you feel the fullness of it in every part of your being, the world must reflect that assumption. The law of assumption teaches you that the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If you believe that you are lacking, that wealth is something that belongs to others but not to you, that is exactly what you will experience. But if you change your inner belief, if you begin to assume that you are wealthy, that abundance is your natural state, then the world must respond. The universe does not judge your assumptions, it merely reflects them. The moment you assume that you are wealthy, the entire fabric of reality begins to rearrange itself to reflect that truth. Opportunities, resources, and circumstances will begin to appear as if by magic, all aligning with your assumption of wealth. And do not make the mistake of thinking that wealth is just about money. Money is simply a symbol, a form of exchange, but wealth is much greater than that. Wealth is an all-encompassing state of mind. It is the belief that you are worthy of all the riches life has to offer. It is the awareness that the universe is abundant and that abundance flows freely to you. When you assume this state of being, the very laws of nature must conspire to bring your desires into manifestation. Your assumptions are the seeds that you plant in the garden of your life. Just as a seed grows into the plant it is meant to be, so too does your assumption grow into the reality it is meant to create. The assumption of wealth, like any other assumption, does not need to be forced or rushed. It simply needs to be planted, nurtured, and allowed to grow. Every time you feel the doubt creeping in, every time you begin to question whether wealth is truly possible for you, return to your assumption. Remind yourself that you are already wealthy, that abundance is already yours, and that the world must reflect this truth. In the same way, your height is not something that is fixed or unchangeable. It is not something that has been predetermined for you. It is something that can be transformed through the power of assumption. You do not need to accept the limitations that the world has placed on you. You do not need to accept what others have told you about your height. You have the power to assume the state of being tall. And as you do, the world around you must respond. Your posture will change, your physical body will adjust, and the world will begin to reflect your new state of being. You may not see the changes immediately, but that does not matter. Trust that the process is already underway. The moment you assume that you are tall, the process of transformation has already begun. The beauty of this process is that it does not require any effort or struggle. It requires only faith in the law of assumption. It requires you to trust that the assumption once made will take root and grow into the reality you seek. It requires you to live from the state of the wish fulfilled, to see yourself as tall, as wealthy, as successful, and to carry that assumption with you in every moment. When you do this, the world must conform to it. The key to manifestation is consistency. The law of assumption does not work in fits and starts. It requires you to be unwavering in your belief, to remain consistent in your assumption. Doubt may arise, fear may creep in, but you must return to your assumption with each passing moment. Remind yourself that you are already tall, that you are already wealthy, and that your desires are already fulfilled. The more you do this, the more powerful your assumption becomes, and the faster it begins to manifest in your life. Do not be fooled by the appearance of things. The external world will always reflect the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. If you believe that you are destined to be short, that wealth is something that others can have but not you, then that is what you will experience. But when you change your assumptions, when you assume that you are tall and wealthy, the entire world must shift to reflect that truth. There is no limit to what you can manifest, for you are the creator of your own reality. The power to change your height, to manifest wealth, to create the life you desire lies within you. And the only thing standing between you and your desires is your assumption. Assume that you are already the person you wish to become, assume that your desires are already fulfilled, and trust that the world will reflect this assumption, bringing your dreams into reality. When you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, there is no need to wonder how it will happen. You do not need to figure out the steps or the process. The universe knows exactly how to bring your desires to you, and it will do so in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Your only job is to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, to live as if your desires are already a reality, and to trust that the universe will bring them to you. Fulfilled. The power of assumption is a force unlike any other. It is the key to transforming your life, to manifesting the height and wealth you desire, to creating the world you wish to live in. You are the master of your own reality, and through the power of assumption you can create anything you desire. The law of assumption is not something you need to learn or study. It is something you must embody. It is the simple act of assuming the state of the wish fulfilled and trusting that the world will reflect your inner state. When you do this, everything you have ever desired is already yours. There is no limit to what you can achieve when you embrace the truth of who you are. You are not bound by your past, by the beliefs you've been told, or by the physical world that surrounds you. The external reality is simply a reflection of your inner world, and that reflection can be changed at any moment. You are the creator of your experiences, and the law of assumption gives you the power to change the course of your life by assuming that which you wish to manifest. When you begin to see yourself as already tall, already wealthy, already successful, you are no longer waiting for the world to change around you. You are stepping into your power, stepping into the truth of your being, and the world must respond. The changes you desire will not come from striving or effort. They will come from your assumption of the state of the wish fulfilled. When you live as if your desires are already true, when you walk in the confidence of a person who has already manifested what they desire, that assumption will take root and begin to express itself in the physical world. Assume with unwavering belief that you are already the person you wish to become. If you want to manifest greater height, don't wait for the physical evidence to show up before you believe it. Assume that you are already tall, already standing at the height you desire. See yourself towering over others, standing tall with pride, and let that assumption fill every part of your being. Live in the feeling of already being tall, and the world will mirror this assumption in ways that will surprise and delight you. You will begin to walk differently, carry yourself differently, and the physical manifestation of your new height will begin to take shape, whether gradually or rapidly, depending on the strength of your assumption. It is the same with wealth. Wealth is not something that is out of your reach, nor is it something that you must wait for. Wealth is a state of mind. When you assume the state of being wealthy, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance that attracts everything you need. It is not about working harder, accumulating more, or struggling to obtain riches. It is about assuming the consciousness of wealth, knowing that you are deserving of all that the universe has to offer. Assume that you already have the wealth you desire. Live in the feeling of abundance. See yourself surrounded by the things you want, experiencing the lifestyle you have dreamed of. Let that assumption fill every part of your being, and trust that as you do, the universe must respond. Your external reality cannot help but conform to the assumption you hold within. When you feel wealthy, when you think wealthy thoughts, when you act as though you are wealthy, you create a magnetic field that draws wealth to you. Opportunities will appear where there were none before. Ideas will come to you effortlessly. People will enter your life who help bring your wealth into manifestation. But it all begins with the assumption that you are already wealthy. The world is an obedient reflection of your assumptions. It cannot help but reflect your inner beliefs. If you believe that you are not tall, if you believe that you cannot become wealthy, those beliefs will remain your reality. But when you change your assumptions, when you begin to live as if you already possess what you desire, everything changes. The external world will begin to shift to match the new assumptions you are holding. Your current circumstances are not permanent, and they do not have the power to define you. What defines you is the belief you hold in your mind. And the moment you change that belief, the world around you must shift. Wealth is not something to be earned by effort alone, nor is height something that is dictated by your past. You can change both with the power of assumption. You do not need to wait for the evidence of your desires before you believe in them. You do not need to see the physical manifestation of your wealth or your height before you assume they are already yours. The assumption comes first, and the manifestation follows. Every thought, every belief you hold is shaping your reality. If you continue to hold on to the belief that you are not tall, or that you cannot manifest wealth, then that is what will continue to appear in your experience. But if you assume the opposite, if you assume that you are tall, that you are wealthy, that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, then that is what you will experience. The outer world cannot do anything other than reflect your inner assumption. As you continue to live in the state of the wish fulfilled, do not allow the world around you to tell you that your desires are impossible. Do not let the temporary appearance of things make you doubt what you have already assumed to be true. Trust that the moment you assume something, the universe begins to move in alignment with that assumption. What may seem like an impossible dream today is simply a reflection of your past assumptions. But once you change those assumptions, once you step into the belief that you are already the person you wish to become, the universe will rearrange itself to support that new reality. You are the master of your destiny. You are not bound by your past, your circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are a powerful creator, and the only thing standing between you and your desires is your assumption. The moment you decide to assume that you are tall and wealthy, the world must conform to that assumption. The more you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the quicker your desires will come to fruition. This is not a matter of magic or luck. It is a matter of the law of assumption, a law that operates with perfect consistency. When you assume that something is true, when you embody the state of the wish fulfilled, the universe responds. It cannot do otherwise, for this is the very nature of reality. The world is not a random series of events. It is a mirror that reflects the assumptions and beliefs of those who live within it. If you assume that you are small and poor, that is what you will experience. But if you assume that you are tall and wealthy, that is the world that will appear before you. The law of assumption is simple yet powerful. It asks only one thing, that you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not wait for the evidence to appear before you believe in it. Do not wait for the world to change before you assume that it has already changed. Assume that your desires are already true and the world will follow suit. This is the way of creation, the way of manifestation. It is not about hard work or struggle, but about living in the state of your desires already being fulfilled. And when you do, the universe will move mountains to bring those desires into your reality. You have the power to transform your life. You have the power to manifest the heightened wealth you desire. It is all within your reach, all available to you right now. The only thing standing in the way is your assumption. Change your assumptions and you change your life. Assume that you are already tall and wealthy, and watch as the world responds to that assumption in ways beyond your wildest imagination. Trust in the power within you and know that everything you desire is already yours. As you stand on the threshold of this powerful truth, remember that the life you seek is not something distant or unattainable. It is already within you, waiting to be realized through the strength of your assumptions. You are not bound by limitations, nor are you at the mercy of external circumstances. The key to your transformation lies in the simple yet profound act of assuming that what you desire is already true. Assume that you are tall, assume that you are wealthy, assume that every dream you hold is already a reality. As you live from this assumption, the universe will respond in kind, bringing the conditions, opportunities, and people into your life that align with your inner state. Your world cannot help but reflect your beliefs, and as you shift your assumptions, your reality will shift with it. Trust in the power of your mind and know that you are the creator of your destiny. There is nothing you cannot manifest when you align your inner world with the life you wish to experience. The law of assumption is your guiding force, and as you live in the consciousness of the wish fulfilled, the world will bend to meet you. Your height, your wealth, your desires, they are all waiting for you to claim them. The moment you assume them to be true, they will become your reality. Trust in yourself, for you are the creator, and all that you desire is already yours.